Hey guys, it's Marty and welcome to Two Lines Slot Cars this week. This is the second weekend that I've had the Ferrari 350 from Thunderslot. And I've done some tuning. I did some tuning on my live stream this past week. And the goal was to get this car under 5 seconds. And with what I've done so far, I can get it down to a 5:01. We are right there. But let's explore the last few things that I might try to do and see if we cannot get this under 5 seconds. I think we're close, but there are a couple things that I think we can do to maybe make this a little faster. So let's jump in. What I've done to this point is tape on the chassis, and I've added the grub screws in the chassis to keep the body float even. I attempted to true the tires, and they're press-on wheels, and the axles just, they spin. So I'm going to have to come up with a different plan to true those fronts. I got them a little bit, so I think I've got them round. They still have the tread on them, and I would really like to get them a little better. So what I might do is put super tire fronts, zero grips on these, and get them trued down to where I want them. We'll try that, but not for this video. So I'm going to take the car apart, and I'm going to do a couple of things, see if we can't get this car under 5 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and take it off. I'm running quite a bit of float, but because of the grub screws on the chassis, it really does limit the float, and I'm not sure how much it's gaining me. So I may pull those out just to see. I've moved the weight around a little bit. We're going to continue to play around with that as well. The one thing that I thought I would do is take my X-Acto knife and just scrape a little bit of the chassis. Just enough to allow that chassis and body to move just a little, just a hair. Now you can do this lots of different ways. You can do that with your Dremel, but with just a good razor blade, I've got good control, and I like to use that. So I don't want to take too much, and I got a little bit of sandpaper, and I probably just smooth that out with the sandpaper. Okay, pretty happy with that. Again, doesn't take a whole lot. One thing I do notice is I am deslotting a little bit. Right now I have all of my weight up against, and when I moved the weight there, it really did pick up about 1/10.5. And then I ran in the gears 5 volts for a couple of hours, and that seemed to wake up this car, the motor. A lot of flex in that chassis. Wow. But I thought I might put a little bit of weight up front just to try to keep that. See if I can keep it in the slot a little better. Go too heavy, but it's probably another gram and a half, maybe 2 grams. See. So I think I'm going to put it right up here underneath this wire. And try to get it up as far as I can. Right there. I don't want it to interfere with. Give me a little weight up front. See if we can't keep the nose of the car down a little bit. We'll see if it impacts the performance. If it slows the car down, I may bring it. I may pull it. If that helps us any. Trying to keep that nose down. Keep that guide in the slot. Well, I already like how it's laying on the setup block. Okay, body back on. I've got the body screws tight. I am going to go out one whole turn and start there and see how the car runs. So let's go hit the track. So we made some adjustments. We were almost 2 full turns out on the body screws, and we still don't have a lot of body float. And I feel like it's because of the set screws, the grub screws. There we go, a little bit front to back. But when I compare it to, I guess it feels pretty close to that. I'm going to take a look at the front end. Maybe we need to redo the front end again. So we're running 5.1s. I really think that we can get this thing under 5. So we're going to keep tuning. It's all trial and error, right? All right, let's see if that makes a difference. 5:05.73. We are really, really close to breaking the 5-second barrier. So, what else do I need to do? I could take these grub screws out and just see. Keep those so in case I want to use them. And now, let's see if that changes anything. I think I solved my deslotting problem. Still a little tail happy, but getting better. I think the new set of silicone tires probably did the trick, but still getting some pretty good lap times. That is the Ferrari 350. Let's see what we have. 509,496, 509, 512, 512, 515, 502, 499. There we go. Got some laps under 5 seconds. Let's go. How about that car? That's a good looking car. All right. There it is, guys. The Thunderslot Ferrari 350. Getting the front end set up properly. What has worked best on my track is that when I stop the car, the front wheels will still be rolling. So this car on my Carrera track likes to have the tires not touching. Some cars like it to be barely touching. This car likes to initiate into the turn. So I made that adjustment to the front end, and it got me into the 5.0s. This is an old set of silicone tires, 2112 super tires, I believe, and they're starting to show some wear. I've got some spots on it where I know that I'm losing some traction. I think with a new set of tires, which I'm going to order probably tonight so I can have them next week, this car is right there. But as you saw in that last clip, we broke 5 seconds. About 4 different laps at over 20 laps. 4 or 5 laps were under 5 seconds. So even as the tires got a little dirty, it was still able to jump under 5 seconds. This car is bone stock guide, stock motor, and it's running great. Again, little more traction. I did do some adjustment on the body screws. I'm about 1 full turn out on all 3, and I'm 1 full turn out pod screws, except for the side screws. I'm 1.5 turns out on those to give it a little more movement, and then I also put a piece of tape on the bottom across the chassis that just quieted things. I did keep the grub screws in the front. See if I can get it to focus. Grub screws are up front, but I removed the rear grub screws. Now I can do things like polishing the axles, some of the little things just to get just a bit more out of it if I can. But I really think the new tires will do wonders. And the fronts are not zero grip. And so that's the other thing, is I need to get a set of zero grip tires for the fronts. But outside of that, it's a good runner. It's very competitive with the rest of my Thunderslots. It's right there with my Elva and my M6A. So I'm very pleased. This is a great car. We got it under 5 seconds. I thought we could. 4.96. We'll take it. We'll take it. Guys, if you like this kind of content, you want to continue to see cars like the Thunderslot Ferrari 350, tuning videos. I don't buy tons of cars, so I don't do a lot of unboxings, but when I do, I get the most out of those cars. So if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell so you get notified anytime I put out new content. Guys, I really appreciate the fact that you are here, that you trust me. I try to give you just common sense kind of tuning guides, guidelines. The baseline tuning can go a long way in making any slot car run really well. But then you want to dive off into the weeds, we can do that. That's how you get wins, I guess, on the track. But we're not so worried about that. We want a car that is easy to drive and a lot of fun and runs great lap times. We're under 5 seconds with this one. It's a good one, guys. If you don't have it yet, I'd place an order. So anyway, guys, thanks, and go have some fun racing.